Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, along with...
Gun Monkey 696.
You may have forgotten who he was, but he does show up occasionally to do these with me. So I apologize for being a little bit late. Normally we get these out earlier, but I think we both just forgot that they released a new set of scans in the Japanese. So tonight we're going to review the Spiral Force and Thunder Knuckle scans from the next black and white set in Japan.
Cool.
Alright, so I guess the very first Pokemon is actually one we need to talk about. Execute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Execute, it's obviously grass Pokemon with 30 HP. It's basic. And the big thing about Execute is his ability, Sap Sipper. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you can put it in your hand. So it's a really, really weird ability.
Yeah.
I think we've seen many things like this. They're starting to make a lot of abilities that activate from your hand or from your discard pile, like Ho-Oh
Yep.
and the little pink guy who I always forget, Odino.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's really cool. You can pair it with things like Ultra Ball, so you don't have to discard from your hand. But the biggest thing is further down in this set, you have Weavile, whose attack Scapegoat. I guess we'll just go over Weavile now, or
Um, you can yeah, just do it
we'll
now. I'll scroll
just
down
touch on
to
it
it.
a little bit at least.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, Weavile, you may discard as many Pokemon from your hand as you like, and there's 30 for each. So obviously there's really great combo there because you can do 120 with absolutely no drawback, and then there's the opportunity to do as much more as you need to. And when you got EXs in the format, it's pretty easy to just do 180 and only have a very minor drawback. So
yeah.
it's a really cool deck. Yeah, other than that, it's just a really cool Pokemon. I don't know how gimmicky that deck will be. I guess we'll have to find out, but Dark's a pretty good type.
Yeah.
We've got some really, really good trainers along with them, so
And
it's interesting.
I mean, we have no idea what the format will be by the time we actually get this set too, because I think this will be after Worlds.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, so who knows what'll happen then. But yeah, I like this card a lot. Just anything that has a unique ability that's not something we've seen a million times before, I think is really cool, and this is pretty neat. So yeah, I think the Weevil deck will probably be pretty gimmicky, just a guess, but it'll be fun at the very least. And yeah, Execute. I think we'll probably find uses outside of that deck too. Just like you said, with Ultra Ball, Computer Search, anything like that, he's just constant fodder, so that you don't have to burn through your resources to use those cards, which is pretty strong. So it'll really just come down to finding room to fit him into decks, I think, because there's so many other good cards, but
yeah.
definitely cool.
Really cool getting abilities like this, and people can like be creative and
Yep.
just show us things that we haven't seen before and that people don't even think of. So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
All right. And actually, Executor is kind of... Well, I guess we can touch on it briefly. The first attack is kind of interesting.
So block for a colorless does 10 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporters. So it's obviously not amazing, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Could have a use in the Weevil deck, maybe, at least.
Yeah,
Just, if nothing else, just for some extra fodder later in the game.
yeah,
And a little bit of stall early. All right, so then the
exactly.
next line will be Skeptile.
Okay, so Sceptile, X Scissor, 30 damage, flip a coin. If heads, attack does another 40, which is alright. And then Energy Bloom, 80 damage, and heal 20 from each of your Pokemon with energy attached. So, it's cool. I don't think it's anything amazing, but in grass really isn't that great a type. It's cool now that Keldio's out, but
Yeah,
like you said, we really don't know what the format's going to look like at that point.
yeah.
So it's cool, but I don't think it's amazing.
Yeah, this is one of the worst Skeptiles I've seen. Um, it just doesn't do anything cool. And on top of that, it has a 2 retreat, which is really weird for Skeptile. Normally it's a really light retreater, but for whatever reason they made it fat this time, which is kind of fitting. It kind of looks fat in the picture. I don't know what it's doing in that pose, but it's pretty dumb. Yeah. Disappointing. Again, grass type, not getting any help. So, too bad. Next, our first EX for the set, Heatran EX. What do you think
Okay.
about it?
So it's a Team Plasma Pokemon. It's cool. Fire, 180 HP. Heat Boiler, its first attack for fire. 2 colorless does 60. And then if Heatran has a special condition, another 60. Dynamite Breath for 2 fire and double colorless does 80. If this Pokemon has a plasma energy attached to it, this attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on the defending Pokemon. Um, it's cool. With EXs, they've got a lot of HP, so if they have like 50 damage counters on them, you can KO the EX from there,
Yeah.
and it's cool to work out with Dusknoir, I guess, but I still don't think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's the best fire type EX we've gotten yet. It's not a game breaker, but I think it could see play just because it's solid. You know, it's not terrible. But yeah, definitely could have been a lot better. So we'll have to see. I think it's got some potential just because it's better than Moltres and Reshiram.
Yeah,
So maybe if Reshiram's even still around, I think. I mean, I would assume everything, at least from Boundaries Crossed, will still be around when these guys come out. But other than that, I don't know. So, all right, next,
Chandelure.
Chandelure, one of my favorites.
Okay, so Fire, Stage 2, 130 HP, and its ability, Flare Navigation. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may search your deck for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. You place 1 damage counter on that Pokemon. So similar to, what was it, last format?
Typhlosion.
Typhlosion. Similar to Typhlosion, except you're now searching from your deck, which is interesting. It's not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, but
Yeah,
it's really good being able to search from your deck, and you don't have to bother getting all those energy into your discard pile.
yeah,
However, it's also not as good because once you burn those energies, if you're using something like Reshiram or anything that discards energy, you're gonna have to try and get it back into your deck.
yeah,
But I still think it's really good. Stage 2 kind of hurts it. If you get like energy acceleration from your deck, it's better if it's earlier on because by the time you get a stage 2 out, there's a chance a lot of your energy is going to be in your discard pile already.
yeah.
But definitely, I think it's definitely a good card. I don't know how good it will be. I think it's going to depend on the attackers that you can pair with it.
Hmm.
And if we keep getting a lot of fire types that are subpar, then don't think it's going to be a very good deck.
Yeah, and I mean also Keldeo,
Kind of ruins
is
it.
around, and I'm just kind of assuming Keldeo is going to be around for a while. It's too good not to be in the metagame while it's in rotation. So yeah, it is a really good card, and like you said, energy acceleration from the deck is really strong. I think we both agree that it's both from the discard and from the deck are definitely better than from the hand. Um, so it's got that going on for it. But yeah, it's definitely better early game because it helps you thin out your deck as well. But it might be a little harder to use late game. So I don't know, lots of potential. I love the artwork on it. Really, really cool picture. And Chandelure is one of my favorites, so I hope it's good.
Same.
Just needs some attackers and for Keldeo to go away.
That might help just a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Next, I guess Glaceon.
Yep.
Yeah, we got another batch of evolutions in this set.
So water type, 90 HP, stage 1. It's a plasma Pokemon, and its ability, Freeze Zone. All your team plasma Pokemon require 2 less energy to retreat. It's not good, it's not bad. I think it's just going to depend on the decks. If your deck needs 2 less retreat, something like Excelgor decks, obviously not Excelgor, but if anything needs that retreat cost,
Yeah.
you can tech in Glaceon. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be standard in Team Plasma decks.
Yeah, I mean, Darkrai is better, but its attack isn't terrible if you had to use it. Automatic sleep and 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's pretty average. Certainly could have been a lot worse, so it's good. And
Cool.
yep. Okay,
Okay.
next Seismitoad.
Seismitoad, stage 2 water with 140 HP. It's another Team Plasma Pokemon. So Spiral Punch for a double colorless does 30, and this attack does 30 damage to all benched Pokemon, which includes your own, and then 2 water and double colorless, 80 damage, and you switch this to one of your benched Pokemon. It's really, really average. Not good
I,
at all.
I
So.
would go beyond that and say that it's
Bad.
bad. Yeah. Do 30 damage to your entire bench. Okay. Um, yeah, just bad, especially in a format with if Darkrai's still around with Darkrai, Dusknoir, just things that put damage on the bench. You're really just helping yourself get knocked out pretty quick. Um, yeah, bad.
Bad.
All right, next
Cool.
Jolteon.
Jolteon. Pin Missile, 20 times. You flip 4 coins, you do 20 times the number of heads, and then Elect Defuse does 40, and if the defending Pokemon is an EX, during your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't attack. It's cool, but unless you're versing something with huge retreat costs, and if there's anything like Darkrai that's going to retreat and then hit you again, Keldeo got
Yep.
Rush in, so
And
as far...
it's just too weak too. I mean,
Yeah.
even if those things weren't around, 40 damage is just not going to cut it. So,
It's like Zeb Striker
yep.
tried to make that deck work, but it just doesn't do enough damage for it to rack up in time.
Yep. Okay. Next, Lantern.
Lantern, special tackle, 30 damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each special energy attached to this Pokemon, which is cool. And then passing current does light for a lightning and 2 colorless, does 90, and you discard 1 energy attached to this Pokemon. It's okay, but once again, it's just another not great card.
Completely forgettable. I mean, it's a common, so that tells you how
Exactly.
much faith they have in it. Cool picture though. It's
Yeah.
in the Arctic or underwater, zapping the ice. I don't know what it's doing, but there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's kind of neat.
Cool.
Another Zekrom.
Cool. This one's actually cool though. So lightning, we've got 130 HP. Mac Claw for a lightning, double colorless does 50 damage. It's not affected by resistance. And then for a lightning and 3 colorless, Cross Thunder does 80 damage. And if there's a Reshiram on your bench, does another 40. Really cool, but I think it's not going to be a great deck. It's just going to be one that people will try out, and I think it's just got too big an attack and doesn't do enough damage, honestly. So
I think it depends on if we still have eels or not. I could see this being okay in Ray Eels, maybe, because you could use. I think Zekrom or Reshiram's the same thing, just with 1 fire energy. So
it is.
they're pretty cheap, and 120 with no drawback, and 130 HP basic that only gives up 1 prize. Not terrible. I think people will try it. I don't know if they'll have room to fit both those guys in there, but it's could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, pretty solid card. All right. Next, Nidoqueen.
So Psychic 130 HP, stage 2 for Poison Horn for a Psychic and a colorless, just 50 damage, and the defending Pokemon is poisoned. Double Stamp 60 for a Psychic and double colorless, 60, and then flip 2 coins. The attack does 30 for each heads. Another pretty forgettable card.
Yeah. If you want to be a stage 2, you need to be freaking incredible to even have a chance.
Exactly.
And Nidoqueen is not. So, no. All right, Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime ability Bench Barrier. Your bench Pokemon can't be damaged by attacks. That's cool. It's basic, so it's not something you're going to have to set up. You can just check it in, and it's going to help against Darkrai. So it's cool. really depends what's in the format. If there's a big deck going around that's spreading a lot of damage,
Yeah.
just checking in a couple Mr. Mimes or even one will help. But yeah, it's really just going to depend on what your deck's weak to and what's being played.
Yeah, I think it's a really good card. Being good isn't always enough to make it playable, but I think it's at least got something going for it that gives it the potential to be. It seems like there's always some kind of spread deck around. Some are more successful than others, but this is a really good card to keep those in check if they get too big. Um, I personally hate Mr. Mime, so not a big fan of the card, but it is good. The ability is super useful. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him be good at some point before he gets rotated out. I think he'll end up in decks somewhere.
Cool.
Next one, Espeon.
Espeon for a colorless Psycho Alert does 20 damage and then draw cards until you have 6. Shadow Ball does 40 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You don't apply weakness or resistance. Bad.
Yeah, if that would be a fantastic attack on a basic,
Yeah.
but if you can't use it turn one, not as helpful. So yeah, same. I mean, same problem as Jolteon. Really, just too weak to do anything. All right, next EX, Deoxys. Oh God.
So, Deoxys EX is a psychic, 170 HP. Obviously, it's basic because they don't feel like giving us any stage 2 or even stage 1 EXs. Because basics are fun. Ability is Power Connect. All of your Team Plasma Pokemon, excluding Deoxys, do 10 more damage, which is cool. And then Spiral Force. For a Psychic and a Colorless does 30 damage. If this Pokemon has a Plasma Energy attached to it, this attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon. It's cool. I don't think it's anything amazing, but I don't know. I think it's going to depend once again on what's getting played, but I definitely could see it being used. I
Uh,
just don't think it's
yeah,
amazing.
I think it's gonna be really good. With Colrez Machine, it uses that attack turn one with the added bonus. So if it goes second, it's actually pretty good. 60 on turn one, uh, pretty easily, and the ability is good. And I think this and Lugia is kind of real scary.
Yeah,
Because Lugia is that attack for 120 is pretty good, but there's a few things that it can't kill, and Deoxys lets it do that. So now it basically Lugia takes two prizes on anything that's not an EX whenever it wants to, uh, which is really scary. So I think it's going to be good.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
cool. Um,
Next, Koffagrigus. This is an interesting card. Really
so
interesting.
Psychic, 100 HP, stage 1, another Team Plasma Pokemon. Its ability, Deep Grave. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may use this ability. If you do, this Pokemon is knocked out. Place 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. It's really cool. I don't know.
Did you read the attack?
I
Read the
I haven't
attack.
read the attack. So two psychic and a colorless unfortunate slap, 70 damage during your opponent's next turn. All of his or her coin flips are considered tails. Hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, another really interesting card.
Yeah.
Um, well, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I really want this card to be good. um, Whether or not it will be is a completely different issue, but again, it's got a really unique poke power and then a unique attack. I think there's a deck out there that is waiting for this card. Whether or not it'll be good when the set comes out or ever is kind of debatable, but it's really unique and I like it a lot. Again, it's adding new things into the game that we haven't really seen before, which I think is a good thing. It's not just a
Yeah.
big basic that attacks for a lot of damage. So I like it.
Exactly. Yeah, I like it too. I don't know. I think it's just interesting more than anything.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's just going to depend on other cards to make it work and what the format's looking like. So yeah,
cool
it's
picture
definitely
too.
interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, the picture's awesome.
All right, next Primeape.
Okay, Primeape. Stage 1 fighting type. Fury swipes for a double colorless 30 times damage. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 30 times the number of heads. And then Karate Chop. 2 fighting does 80 damage. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Another pretty forgettable card. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's fighting type,
yeah,
but this fighting type's starting to not be quite as good
yeah,
as other decks come up. So
yep, yeah. I agree. Okay, Weevil. We kind of already talked about,
yeah,
so I
we
don't
can
know
go
if we
back
need.
over it.
Yeah,
So yeah, Weevil's Dark with a Dark Stage 1 with 90 HP. His first attack, Hail, does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, which is a cool first attack, I guess. But then its real good attack is Scapegoats for a Dark and a Colorless, does 30 times 30 damage for every Pokemon you discard from your hand. Sure, you went over. So I think it's really cool. I think that on another type of Pokemon, if it was like grass or something, when paired with Execute, it'd be really, I don't know, it just wouldn't be good enough, but I think Dark types got the boost they need from Dark Explorers. So now you have things like Dark Patch if you need to. You've got the Dark type support from things like Darkrai and Zoroark, so you don't just have to go Weavile. And you also got Dark Claw, so I think it could be good.
yeah. Kind of
It's
depends
definitely going
on
to be fun.
if Dark Explorers rotates or not. I think.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's cool. It'll be fun no matter what, whether it's good or not. Uh, stage ones are actually still kind of hard to consistently stream, and even the fact that it takes 2 energy without Dark Patch, if we don't have Dark Patch, even 2 energy could become an issue. Uh, but it's a cool card. Could be good.
Yeah.
I think if this deck actually becomes good, it'll be the new deck that everyone hates because again, it's based. You don't really need any rares. It's just an uncommon and commons like Durant was. At least it actually takes prizes, so that'll help it. But
Yeah,
I
I was
think
gonna
people
say.
just complain about it because it's too easy to make.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's gonna be a lot of people just playing this just because it's very easy to get their hands on,
Yeah.
whether or not it's super good. So,
All right, next one, Absol.
Absol for a Dark and a Colorless. Mind Jack does 20 damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which is really cool. And then Dark and 2 colorless. Shadow Fear does 60, and then you look at your opponent's hand. It's interesting. I just don't think it's quite good enough to see a whole lot of play. Some people might try and take it in and like it, but Shadow
Yeah.
Fear requires too much energy, I think, to be
Yeah.
useful. And then Mind Jack is just very average. So
Um, if setup decks were still a thing, it would be really good. It's actually another card that I think is good if you go second because they kind of put stuff down on their bench turn one, and then you can Dark Energy and Colrez Machine and use Mind Jack turn one and take a prize. Uh, Again, if setup decks were a thing, which they're not really. So not terrible. Could be good, but I kind of doubt it just because of EXs.
yeah,
So, all right, next Crocodile.
Rookada.
Yeah.
So if it's Darkness type Pokemon with 140 HP, Stage 2, another Team Plasma Pokemon. Piston Head, for a single Dark, does 30 damage. Move 1 energy from the defending Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then for Dark and 2 colorless, Hammerin just does 80. It's pretty forgettable and not good at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty forgettable. Uh,
Um,
if we still had Mew Prime, Piston Head might have some use because energy energy denial, and like moving energy around was something that the Mii Box deck could do that was fun and annoying.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's long gone. Also, I what piston head? Like, what does it do? What does that? Is it like a headbutt?
I
I
don't really know.
guess. I don't know. Why? I don't know. I do like the picture a lot, though. It's taken over the amusement park in what's it called city after it's frozen.
Gonna piston head all the kids.
Yeah. All right. Next,
Um,
Steelix.
Elix, so it's a stage one with 150 HP, which is really good in a stage one.
Yep.
Other Team Plasma Pokemon's Metal. So for a single metal and a double colorless, Metal Defender does 50 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon has no weakness. And then Giga Impact for metal and four colorless does 100 damage. Um, well, metal decks don't exactly have any energy acceleration at the moment,
Yeah.
so have fun getting all your energy onto Steelix. You can use other energy acceleration if you want to, because it's a lot of colorless, but I don't know. It's just like Charizard, but even worse.
I I disagree a little bit. I think that there is one deck that could potentially use this. Kling Klang.
Yeah.
It got pretty good with Keldeo, and it's gonna get better next set because we get Plasma Clang, which gives all Steel Pokemon immunity to EXs. Um, so could be good if Kling Klang holds on. This could work. 150 HP on something that only gives up one prize. Uh, Pretty solid. And Kling Klang is that kind of slow energy build, but it's all about maintaining the energy. So it's not impossible for it to have five energy to move on there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's got some potential. Um, Whether or not it comes together, we'll have to wait and see. But it's not completely out of the question for it to be useful.
I wasn't thinking about the new Kling Klang,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess there's not really many decent metal types, so the fact that he isn't horrible
Yep.
could be useful. It's cool.
All right. Next, Kingdra.
For a colorless, for a single, it's stage 2 dragon with 140 HP, and for a single colorless, Twister does 20 damage, and you shuffle all water and lightning energy from your discard pile into your deck, and then you do 20 times the number of cards shuffled back, and then Tri-Bullet. This attack does 30 damage to three opponent's Pokemon. It's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. I haven't really
Yeah.
thought of any ways to use it, but I'm sure
Yeah.
someone will.
I think again in a format that didn't have EXs, this card would be a powerhouse. Playing this along with Blastoise to just recycle that energy back in after your stuff gets knocked out, and then doing a ton of damage too would be really good. But I don't think it's going to be that great, just because it's too slow and it doesn't do enough things. It's got two really good attacks, but so do all the EXs that people use, and they're way easier to play. So,
Yeah, the basics and have more HP, so
uh,
it's like,
to be a playable stage 2, you almost have to take a support role, just
mhm.
because it's impossible to stream stage 2 attackers when they just get one-shotted by EXs. So, yep.
Okay, Latios EX. So Dragon 170 HP. MacFly for a Psychic and a Colorless D40 during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then Luster Purge for a Water Psychic and a Colorless. You do 150, and then discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. It's really, 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 really bad.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Like really bad.
Yeah, and then it's got double retreat to make it even worse. It's yeah, not good.
Horrible.
All right,
Okay.
next,
So
Raticate.
Eradicate. Another Team Plasma Pokemon, colorless, and once just 70 HP, stage 1. Junk Transform. For a single colorless, select one Team Plasma Pokemon, Team Plasma Trainer, and Team Plasma Energy card from your discard pile and put them in your hand. And then Bite does 30 for a double colorless, which is just a really amazing attack. But um, Junk Transform can be really good. It depends if people can find room for it, but
Yeah.
I think it's just really cool.
It's
Definitely useful.
yeah, it's kind of like a worse Sableye because you have to evolve it, but
Yeah.
it is colorless, so it works in any kind of plasma deck you want to make. And we've all seen how phenomenal Sableye is right now, so this could maybe be a tech in a few decks just to get things back. We'll see. Love the picture again. They're just like overrunning whatever city they set loose in. So that's
It's
fun.
awesome.
All right. Noctowl.
Noctowl, Eagle Eye for a double colorless. You do 10 damage. This attack, 10 times damage. So this attack does 10 damage for each card in the opponent's hand. And then Fly, flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevents all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, and it's 50 damage. Which I don't know, it's alright. It's cool. Like I think we've got other Pokemon which also have Fly
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Yep.
And yeah,
Okay.
it's alright.
Yeah. Whatever. Miltank.
Max, it's colorless basic with 100 HP. Max milk for a double colorless, heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. Then discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, and tackle does 30.
Yep. Next.
Kecleon, colorless, 70 HP basic. While this a Pokemon is your active Pokemon, its type is the same as your opponent's active. And then copy, choose an attack on the defending Pokemon. If this Pokemon has the required energy to use that attack, it performs this attack. It's cool. It's, I guess, a decent Mewtwo counter.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think.
Anything that's weak to itself, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
kind of cool. Just again, a card with a lot of potential. Almost reminds me of Ditto from what was it, Fossil, or yeah, I think it was from Fossil. That just kind of it just transformed into the active Pokemon. This isn't exactly the same, but it's got a similar vibe.
Yeah.
So could be cool. Depends on the decks. If Psychic or Dragon decks are big at the time, he could be a pretty neat counter for a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the biggest part is that it needs to have the right energy.
Yeah,
So it's really only good with things like I think it's really can only be used for Mewtwo or if you just happen to be running the right energy with like Prism or something. So
yeah. Any deck that plays Prism could maybe use it. Um, yeah.
cool.
All right, trainers, and the first one, Super Energy Retrieval.
So discard two cards from your hand, select four basic energy cards in your discard pile, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. It's gonna destroy in Blastoise.
Yeah,
Just absolutely anything that attaches from the hand, which at the moment the only really good one's Blastoise. But
yeah,
yeah, other than that, it's not going to see any play. So, but it's going to be really, really great in Blastoise decks.
yeah. Again, more reasons for Blastoise to find room for a couple of executes.
Yep.
Because then this card just becomes get 4 energy back from your discard, which is ridiculous. Uh, Blastoise is already getting help from the Plasma Storm. I think with the new Kirami X, Black Kirami X is really good in that set, so that's gonna help it. And then this, it's good. I think Blastoise is gonna be sticking around for a while. Uh, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Next, oh, Geethus.
So look at your opponent's hand. Your opponent shuffles all item cards back into his or her hand. Draw one card for each item card shuffled in this way. It's really good, but I think it's going to depend. It's kind of like Hooligans, where I don't know if you want to use your supporter for the turn, but is it just? Yeah, it's just item cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't think it's. I think it's going to depend on where your opponent is in the game.
Yeah.
So if you end them and then use this, and they've got absolutely nothing for the next few turns, then it's going to be awesome. But I don't know how amazing it's going to be otherwise.
I think it's a good card. I think it's a really good supporter just because it brings something different to the table. It's not straight draw or shuffle and draw. Um, it might not always let you draw that many cards, but if if you show that your opponent that you have Geethys, it's kind of going to encourage them to burn their items just because they don't want to get them used. So you can almost use it as a psychological tactic to make your opponent waste resources, which is pretty cool. So it's got potential. It's different. It's better than Hue or Hooligans, so I like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Next, Stadium Frozen City.
So when either player attaches an energy to their non-team plasma Pokemon, place 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. It's just really good stadium that makes team plasma Pokemon even more amazing. So yeah,
The main thing I see though is Plasma decks are probably going to want Plasma Frigate over this, just because it's better.
yeah,
Uh, but it is a really good stadium, so that's cool. And another really cool picture again. Okay, next. A-Spec for the set, Rock Guard.
if this Pokemon, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active and is damaged by an opponent's attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So just Rocky Helmet on roids, but
Yeah,
it's I don't know. I don't know if you really want to use this as your Pokemon tool. So
yeah,
I'd prefer any of the other really really great ace packs we're getting.
I just think A-Specs that are tools in general are bad. Um, at least while Tool Scrapper is around. Why would you ever play that when it can just be destroyed immediately? Whereas Gold Potion, Computer Search, Dowsing Machine, there's no way for your opponent to stop that outside of full-on item lock. So, yeah, just underwhelming.
Yep.
Okay, Plasma Energy we don't need to talk about because it was in the last set. So, I guess art for the EXs.
Um. Hmm.
Heatran's really dark. That's not a great picture.
Yeah. I think I probably prefer the normal Heatran.
I gotta come up and find him. Yeah, I do as well. It might just be a bad picture for the full art, but
Yeah.
it's kind of boring. He's not
Yeah,
really
it doesn't
doing
look like he's
anything.
doing
Just
anything.
standing there.
Exactly.
Uh,
So,
yep, I agree. Deoxys.
Deoxys. Check, pull up Deoxys. I think I like normal Deoxys again, but I like them both. They're both pretty cool. I think I just like normal Deoxys a
I gotta
little bit more.
go back up to the normal one. I actually think I like the full art in this one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of the same pose, just
Yeah.
reversed. So I'll take the full art one, just because there's more of him there.
Uh,
And Latios.
um, where's all that? Yes. I don't know. I think probably. I think I like normal Latios. I don't really.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Um, I don't know. I never liked full out Latios's like taily bit. I always thought that looked weird.
Uh,
So I don't know. I like normal Latios. I think a little bit more.
I definitely like the full art one better for Latios, just because of the background. I think it was really, really cool. So,
Yeah.
and I like his face. Geethys. I mean, I don't think there's any question here. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we got some shinies. Shiny Empoleon, that's cool. It means Empoleon will still be around, even if Dark Explorers gets rotated.
Yeah.
And Shiny Sigilif. which is really cool. I like the picture on that a lot.
Yeah, I really like the picture.
Very psychedelic. And then we got a gold Ultra Ball, which is pretty cool too, actually. Kind of surprised. Um,
Yeah, cool.
and then Thunder Knuckle, second half of the set.
All right.
So, first
Um,
card, Beedrill. Do we need to talk about it at all?
no, I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah. The
Um,
first attack's not terrible. It's just on a stage 2, so
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, poison is cool, but yeah, it's a stage two.
All right. Next,
Is Cacturn any good?
let's see. Um,
It's alright.
it's okay.
Um,
I mean,
yeah, you
for a
may as
grass
well.
type, it's actually not bad.
So Cacturn is grass stage one with 90 HP. Quick draw needle does 60, and this attack does 30 damage to one of your Pokemon. And then payback does 30 plus if your opponent has one prize card left. This attack does 60 more damage and discard one energy attached to the defending Pokemon. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like how often is your opponent going to have one prize card
Yeah.
left?
Exactly.
So
All right.
you're really going to have it in
Next,
there just for that.
Leafeon.
Um, Leafeon, stage one grass with 100 HP is cool. Energy Crash for a single colorless does this attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon. And then for grass and double colorless Leaf Blade, 60 plus if you flip a coin, if heads does another 20. Second attack is really not good. Yeah, it's too big and only does 80 even if you get heads, so
Uh,
that's weird. And
I
then his first attack is cool, but
this thing shits all over Blastoise. First attack ruins Keldeo. Second attack destroys Blastoise. If you get a heads, one shots Blastoise. So could see play, I think, if Blastoise is big. Um,
yeah,
you know, it is a
I really
stage
like the
one,
first
so that
attack.
that hurts it. Yeah, the first attack just destroys Keldeo. Um, and then it's not, for 4 energy, it does 160, so you only need a plus power or Deoxys to one-shot Keldeo if it's got 4 energy, and then if it has 5, it just flat out kills it. Um, and then, yeah, like I said, flip a heads on the second attack, a little less useful, but it can one-shot Blastoise on a heads, which is definitely not something to overlook. So
It's cool.
yeah, probably not that great of a card, but just given the complete lack of grass attackers, it just becomes better by default. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Okay.
Flareon.
Flareon, Team Plasma stage one, 100 HP fire type, and for a double colorless Vengeance, 20, and then does 10 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile, which is interesting. And then for a fire and double colorless Flare Blitz, 90, and this Pokemon does 10 damage to itself. Vengeance is interesting,
Yeah,
but I don't know if it does enough. It
yeah,
depends how
that's
easily you're going to get Pokemon in the discard pile.
if it was like 20 plus 20, it'd be
Yeah.
so much better. But 10 is just not enough.
Or even just 20 times the Pokemon in your discard pile.
Yeah, something
Just
so
not
close,
10.
but
Yeah.
just missed it. Yep. All right, Reshiram.
Reshiram, so this is the other side to the Zekrom card we just saw. So Miracle Heat does 50 damage, and then you remove all special conditions. And then Cross Flame is the same thing as Zekrom's
Yep.
attack, so it does 80, and if Zekrom is on the bench, that's 40, except this is using a fire and 3 colorless. So I think we pretty much covered most of it when talking about Zekrom.
Yeah. This is probably like one of the best fire type attackers that we have.
Yeah.
Again, I think it could be good. I love the artwork on the card though. Beautiful card. Just everything about that picture is fantastic.
That's awesome.
All right, next, Vaporeon.
So 110 HP water, stage 1, and then Cure Rain for a colorless, you heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. And then for a water and a colorless, Cold Break does, if the defending Pokemon does 30 damage, and then if the defending Pokemon is an EX, this attack does 50 more damage. Just pretty bad.
Yeah, it's bad,
It's kind of like Buffalo, but
but
yeah,
terrible.
bad. Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Next,
Um,
Quagsire.
Quagsire, so stage 1, water type with 100 HP. Easy going. All damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's attacks is reduced by 20. And then Mud Shot for water and double colorless to 60. If this Pokemon has any fighting energy attached to it, this attack does 30 more damage. It's not horrible,
Yeah,
but
it's not
it's
really
just,
good either.
yeah, not good enough.
Yep, I agree. Okay, Vanillux.
Vanilluxe, stage 2 water type with 130 HP. Another Team Plasma Pokemon. Snowball Max to 60 times. You flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack to 60 times the number of heads, which is cool. And then Cold Breath does 40. The defending Pokemon is now asleep. This first attack is interesting,
Yeah,
especially with like Flip Teeny. If you can get enough heads to like knock out an EX or something, and then you got like Blastoise just to dump a ridiculous amount of energy onto him, or really any, because it's any Pokemon. So it could be a tech if ever water's really useful for taking something out, and you just want to take it into something. So any deck that energy accelerates is cool, but I don't know if it's. I don't like the flips.
yeah, it'll be a fun bad deck, but it's a stage 2 that flips. So,
Yep.
you know, you need 3 heads to knock out an EX without a Violite, which means you need to have about 6 energy on average, and at that point, just play Mewtwo or Keldeo and do it that way.
Exactly.
So, the picture is ridiculous. That is the most aggressive looking ice cream I've ever seen. Even like the other one is scared of it.
Just scared of him. He's like, "Whoa, bro, calm down."
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That's awesome.
All right, next, another Cryonicle.
So basic water with 80 HP, cold sign for a single colorless, search your deck for a water Pokemon, show it to your opponent and put it in your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. And then hard freezing water for a single water does 10 damage, discard 1 energy attached to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't attack. Um as far as first attack goes, you may as well use Mulga.
Yeah, or Lapras.
And then or Lapras, and then hard freezing. It's just like we said with what was it? We said I think it was Jolteon.
Jolteon.
They
Yeah,
just retreat.
yeah, and it does 10 damage. So no.
Oof, that big 10 damage.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Cure.
Kyurem. Water, basic, 130 HP, Team Plasma. Frost Spear for a water and a colorless does 30. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench. And then Blizzard Burn for 2 water and a colorless does 120. And during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just not amazing.
Just,
3 retreat cost is a lot,
yeah.
and which means you really have to have something like Darkrai with it because even Glaceon won't let it retreat for free.
Yeah.
So
And I think
it's alright.
you know if it gets played, it'll definitely be in Blastoise, so the retreat wouldn't be as much of an issue. Thanks to
Yeah.
Keldeo, but
Yeah.
still not that great. Like Blastoise just has way better options than this guy. So, yeah. All right. Next, Electrode.
Electrode is a stage 1 lightning with 90 HP. charge draw. You draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. You can only use this ability once per turn. And then Electro Ball is just 60 for a lightning and a double colorless. Um, it's alright, but 4 cards in your hand is nothing special, so that's what's gonna stop him from being any good.
Again, possible tech for Blastoise, I think. 4 cards in your hand. Just because the deck is so weak to N late game, 4 cards early is kind of bad, but when you get N to 1, four
Yeah,
cards is a whole lot. So, potential for decks that are really weak to N, which is good. I think it might be it might have a niche somewhere, a niche, uh, in some kind of deck. Not not like Magnezone, who's just phenomenal, but could be good enough to find a spot somewhere.
yeah, definitely good against N, but
Yeah. Pachirisu, does it do anything worth talking about?
um,
No.
not really. Busy works cool in Blastoise.
Yeah, but you have to take a turn to use it as an attack. So,
But turn 1, you're usually not doing anything in Blastoise anyway. It's a basic.
yeah,
So it just means next turn you can hit for, with Keldeo, you can just pretty much take out any EX sab on your field if you get lucky.
if you get a turn
It's
from
cool in
Blastoise.
Blastoise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't think it's going to be good enough.
I think,
Blastoise
yeah.
has so many other things that it would like to tech in. I don't think this is going to be worth it. So,
Look at his face.
yeah.
He looks like he's ready. He can play with
Ready
the
to
big
go.
boys.
Vanillix has something to say about that.
The
Ice
ultimate
ball right
showdown.
to the face. All right, next Thunderous EX. Is this the
so
first
one,
EX we've gotten to from this set?
is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe.
check.
Seems
Yeah, it
like it.
is.
Yeah. Wow. Anyhow, what do you think
Okay.
about it?
So stage obviously basic when we're talking about stage one. Obviously basic lightning with 170 HP, another team plasma Pokemon, and then Thunder Knuckle for a lightning, single lightning, just 30 damage. Attach an energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench team plasma Pokemon. And then for double colorless and 2 lightning, Thunder Root does 90 damage. If this Pokemon has a plasma energy attached to it, discard an energy card attached to the defending Pokemon. It's cool. I don't know if it's going to be amazing, and Eels is really struggling at the moment, but it's cool.
I think if eels are around, this will definitely be in it. The first attack gets special energy back from the discard, which is kind of huge. Um, and then automatic energy discard is also pretty good. Uh, it's just like hitting the heads on a crushing hammer every turn without needing to flip.
Yeah.
Really good. I think, if eels are still around, this will be in that deck. Otherwise, not as good without them, just because the second attack is so expensive and the first attack's kind of situational.
I was just thinking more that Eels is really struggling at the moment, but yeah,
Yeah, but
I guess.
I mean, it is, but it's eels electric's too good to like not be around
Yeah, yeah.
if it hasn't been rotated. Even though it's not as popular as it was, it still is a deck that does pretty well. So we'll see. Next, Muck. What does Muck do? Not very
Mm,
good.
not good. No point talking about it.
It heals itself for 60 if you poison them, but it has no way to poison them. I guess you're supposed to
Uh,
use it with the poison hypnotic beam, but whatever. I don't. It's not very good.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, Metagross. Metagross.
Okay, so Metagross for Psychic Stage 2 with 140 HP, and Team Plasma Pokemon, obviously. Plasma Search. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may search your deck for a team plasma card, share it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You can't use more than one plasma search ability each turn. It's really good, making plasma decks even more awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you really need to say that much about it. It's just a really awesome card.
Yeah, I think this is the stage 2 for plasma decks. You know, Blastoise is Keldeo support, and Hydreigon is Darkrai, and this is the plasma deck support. It just, it's really, that ability is really good. So yeah, I don't think we need to say anything else either. It's just really good
Yeah.
card. All right, next Nidoking.
Um, Nothing really.
Yeah, whatever. Just play Terrakion.
Pretty much.
Hariyama, same.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Umbreon.
Umbreon. Okay. All your team arms at stage 1 dark Pokemon with 100 HP and Nightshade. All your team plasma Pokemon have plus 20 HP. Um, it's good. I think that I don't know. I think it's going to depend on what you're playing because plus 20 HP can mean a lot or it can not mean a lot. So
Yeah.
if you can find the room for it, it's obviously good, but
I think
I don't think it's amazing.
Aspertia City Gym is kind of evidence that plus 20 HP can be pretty big. That plus a Violite just gives all of your EXs effectively 190 or even more. Let's see, even
Yeah.
like if they have 170, this plus a Violite gives them basically 210 hit points, which is massive. Uh, so yeah, I think it's definitely got potential to be pretty big card. Uh, it's just going to be about finding room for it, like you said. It's a stage 1, so you need at least 2 cards just to get it down, but definitely could see play. I hope it does. Umbreon's my all-time favorite, so I don't think we've had a playable version of Umbreon since like Umbreon EX uh, way back when. So I hope it's good, but we'll have to wait and
I
see.
think I think it's cool with like all the other evolutions. So if you're running any of them in a deck, Umbreon's really easy to just fit a couple of him in
Yeah,
because it just
why not?
adds HP if you need it. So
Yeah. All right. Bisharp.
um yeah, so Bishop is stage 1 dark type with 100 HP. Slash does 40 for colorless, which is cool. And then for 2 dark and a colorless, Dragon Slayer does 80. If the defending Pokemon is a dragon type, this attack does 40 more damage. Um, that's really cool, but dragon type really aren't doing a whole lot at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely cool. And I'll, what is Thingy? Dragon type is Lugia. Lugia's dragon type, right?
No, Lugia's colorless.
Colorless.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it depends if dragon types are
So
good.
I just realized you could play Lugia, Aspertia City, Umbreon,
Oh my
and
god.
Eviolite.
God. Oh.
God. Anyhow,
Yeah, it's decent, I guess.
yeah. All right. I think it would be a lot better if it was just if that second attack was just a single dark and then a double colorless. Seems overly expensive for a mediocre attack, but whatever.
Yeah.
We got a new Hydreigon.
Um, yeah, don't think it's very good.
Yeah, me either. Doesn't do anything cool. Um,
Doesn't have an ability, pretty much.
yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
Cool picture
Uh,
though.
yeah,
My Wild, does that do anything? No.
no.
Nope. Okay. Another cool picture though. It looks very sad. It
Aww.
just kind of watched the destruction of Unova from its little perch there, and it sucked too much to do anything to stop it.
Cheer up, Morale.
Okay. Dragonite.
Well, stage 2 dragon with 150 HP, and then for 3 colorless, pierce to 60, and then during your opponent's next turn, the opponent cannot play any item cards from his or her hand. And then heal wing for the grass, lightning, and double colorless does 90, and you heal 30 from this Pokemon. It's cool. I really love stopping your opponent from playing item cards because
Yeah.
they're just so amazingly good at the moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's cool, and there's you can pair it with things like Garbodor. I want to make something that stops item cards decent, and 60 is a lot better than 40. So
I think it's just too slow. By the time I mean, maybe you could attack turn two, but not consistently. I think, and item lock is a lot weaker turn three than it is turn two because they've already had a chance to use a lot of stuff. Um,
well, you could use both. You could go with Zeb Striker and then
and then him.
have Dragonite later, but
Yeah, I
that's a
guess you
lot of
could.
Pokemon, I guess. Yeah,
I just think
and
it's if it did like 90 damage, that would be
yeah,
amazing.
60s.
Yeah,
Just even if it actually had like a type and then did 90,
yeah,
like if it was like I don't know something
lightning,
that could actually
grass.
accelerate properly,
Uh,
the grass and lightning is just not a great combination.
yeah. All right, Latias EX.
It's Dragon with 160 HP. Shining Feathers. This Pokemon is unaffected by moves from a Pokemon that has an ability, which is cool. And then Penetrate for a fire, a psychic, and a colorless does 70. This attack isn't affected by weaknesses, resistance, or any other effects. Really cool. Not being affected by things that have an ability is awesome. But yeah, it just depends on. It's just a really cool tech card in general, I think.
I
But then
don't.
again, but its attack is so hard to.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
it's very good. The ability is definitely cool, but the attack is bad, and the HP is bad.
yeah,
160 is so much worse than 170, just because a lot of things hit that number a lot easier than they do 170. Uh, so yeah, not great. If that attack did 90, it would be so much better because it would kill Sigilif and just two shot anything.
KOAX
Yeah,
is.
but it doesn't. So bad.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Staraptor.
Um, Staraptor, does it do anything?
Let's
Yeah,
see. Ah,
that's
the
cool.
the one attack's kind of neat.
So Staraptor is a colorless stage 2 with 130 HP and a wing attack for 3 colorless to 60, and then for 4 colorless strong breeze, you shuffle the defending Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into your opponent's deck. I don't know, that's a really, really cool attack. Um, and yeah, especially, I guess it's going to depend on what you're versing.
Yeah,
If it's something that requires a lot of setup and then all of a sudden it's like it's not there anymore, that's sad. But if you a lot of basics that don't really require a whole lot of setup, it's not going to have too much of an effect on them. But I definitely think it's a really cool attack.
yeah. Um, yeah, anything that doesn't accelerate energy. I mean, the fact that it's a stage two sucks. But at least it's colorless to kind of help out a little bit. And I don't know. It'll be another fun bad deck, I think, but it'll never be good enough to really compete. Just because it's too slow. Maybe if it was a Team Plasma Pokemon, but it's not, so it doesn't get help from that. Maybe if it had more HP, but it doesn't. 130, not really enough nowadays.
At
Not
least it has
terrible,
one
but
trait cost.
yeah, that's good. But I can't use Skyro,
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's cool.
it's cool. I think it'll be a fun gimmicky deck, but not anything more than that. All right, last EX, Tornadus.
So another Tornado CX,
Yep.
colorless, one 80 HP. Streamers, shuffle your hand back in your deck, then draw 6 cards, which is really, really cool. And then for 4 color, Jet Burst is 60. This attack does 30 more damage for each plasma energy attached to this Pokemon. I don't know, it's just not really great. 30 more for each plasma. It's really hard to hit anything massive. And 90 for full colorless isn't really big enough to take any to do enough to do much damage. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I,
it's alright.
I think it's pretty good actually. First off, consistency. That's cool. It's actually an attack on a basic, which means it's really, really strong turn one. And then Jet Burst, it's pretty easy to hit 120 with a Plasma Energy and a DCE. You do 120, which two hits everything. Um, I think it's pretty good, actually.
I think it's just plasma energy attached to it.
No, doesn't it say special or does it say? Oh,
It's
plasma.
plasma.
Oh, that makes it a little
Yeah.
harder to use. Um, yeah, still not terrible. That does weaken it a bit. I thought it was special energy, but just plasma is a little bit harder to get. Um, I still think
Yeah,
it could.
I like streamers.
Yeah, I still think it could be a tech in a lot of decks, just because it's really good turn one, and then if you're already playing plasma energy, it's not terrible. So we'll have to wait and see.
I like the idea of even just using it like in the first few turns of a setup deck, and then if they start to do damage on it, you just max potion, and you don't really lose anything.
Yeah,
But it has a true retreat cost, which kind of hurts it. So
yeah. Blastoise again, doesn't care.
yeah, sure.
All right.
So that's cool. Um,
Plasma Ball. Did we talk about this? We did.
I think we did. I
Because it
think it's
was.
just
Yeah.
pretty obvious that it's just perfect for Team Plasma Pokemon. It's
Yep.
just no drawback, and you search out everything you need. So,
Floatstone is interesting.
so Floatstone is Pokemon Tool, which each Pokemon. Oh, I don't know. Why I'm reading that. The Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost. It's really cool, and you can chuck it on a Keldeo, and then pretty much nothing has any retreat cost. Chuck it on a stage two or anything that has a huge retreat cost. It's
Yep.
just wants to sit on your bench, and all of a sudden it's not catcher bait anymore. So it's really really cool.
I think strictly better than Switch. With what I said about the other items, the Rock Guard, where it can just be tool scrappered away, doesn't really apply to Floatstone because you can just attach it the turn you need it. And, after that, if it lasts for more turns, great. If it gets tool scrappered, oh well. It just
Yeah.
worked as a switch, so nothing was really lost. So I think it's a great tool.
The only thing is, if you get status decks, you can't get out of that. Getting around like retreating and being able to switch a retreat and then
Yeah,
use the switch as well. So
that's true. I would probably play this and Escape Rope instead of Switch. Like mix, a couple of these and a couple Escape Ropes,
yeah,
and just not play Switch. That way you have an answer for both.
I
And
still
yeah,
think it's awesome with
amazing.
Keldeo.
Yeah, amazing on Keldeo. So it means that Kling Klang doesn't have to play Darkrai anymore once this comes out,
Exactly.
which is really, really good for Kling Klang.
So
All right,
awesome.
Shadow Triad.
It's a supporter, Team Plasma, so you can search it, and then search your discard pile for a Team Plasma card, reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. It's really good, but I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's a supporter, but it's
Yeah,
still really just a really good card if you need it. I guess I don't know.
it's okay. I think Skyla's probably just better in most instances. This can get Pokemon back, I suppose, but generally you would probably play it to get items or things like that, and Skyla's a little
I
bit
think
better.
this I think it's a lot better late game
Yeah,
because you get it back from your discard pile.
yeah, that's true.
So,
Um,
but early game is just you have this in your opening hand, and you wish it was a Skylar or an N.
yep.
So,
Cool picture though.
yeah.
Life Essence. Ah, this one.
So Life Essence is a Pokemon tool, and when the Pokemon this guy's attached to is knocked out, your opponents take one less prize card. I think it's really cool. There's a lot of other, like you said, with the fact that it's a Pokemon tool, it gets tool scrapper away, and there's other aspects that you really want in your deck. But I don't know, it's cool, and especially if you're running just EX, it's just the fact that they have to take one less prize card means they need to KO another entire EX.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
So
And also, I mean, you can put it on something like Blastoise or Hydreigon and pretty much make them invincible. Like to
yeah.
to waste so many resources to knock it out and then not take a prize is really discouraging. Um, yeah, so it's cool. Tool Scrapper sucks, uh, but who knows? People might try it out. It's better
Mhm.
than Rock Guard, anyhow.
Yeah.
All right, EXs art.
Um, Thunderous. I think I don't really like either of the arts, but I think I like normal Thunderous a little bit better.
I like the full art one better. I think. Let me go back. Yeah, it's almost the same. I feel like,
Yeah.
but the full art one just has more art. I don't care for the Theron forms
Yeah,
designs
me
in
neither.
general.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like them, but
All right.
yeah. Um,
Latias.
Latias. Think I like where's normal Latias. They're really similar to Latios.
Yeah.
I think I probably like the normal one again.
Yeah. I like the full art for the same reason. I think the
Yeah.
background's really cool, and I like the kind of face on the full art one better. The kind of more cute face as opposed to the attacking one in the regular art.
I still like the background even on the regular art.
I'll go back and look at it.
It's just like coming out of the card more than
Yeah.
just being a background. Yeah.
Right.
And then
And Tornadus.
Tornadus. Um, I think I like full art. I
Yeah,
don't
me
really
too.
know what he's doing with his hand. It's like peace.
He's like trying to be Lugia, but not in the regular one. I like that he's kind of like swooping down to grab prey or something in the full art card.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Good pose.
Still think he looks silly in either
Yeah,
of
he
them anyway,
does.
though.
It
Just
also he kind of looks like he has a mullet or something. I don't know what's going on with his hair.
yeah.
It's pretty bad. All right.
His stash.
Full
See.
art Juniper finally, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic art on that one.
Awesome.
And
Um,
then Shinies, Garbodor.
Garbodor. I think that looks really weird. I don't
Yeah,
really. I guess it's Garbodor,
it
so
is
it's hard to
Garbodor.
get not look weird. But even the background, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Same
It's
with
just
Garchomp. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him either.
yeah,
He's like surfing a wave, but he's under the wave and he's gonna go through something.
yeah.
I don't know
I,
what's
I
going on
don't.
there.
He's confused.
Yeah, and then Max Potion is whatever.
It's
Not
cool.
as not as cool as the Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that's gonna do it. So, what do you think about the set overall?
I think it's good. I still don't know if there's as many amazing things as there were in the last set.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's a decent set. There's some stuff that stand out, and a lot of stuff. I think the best part about this set is that there's a lot of cards that people can be creative with.
hmm
It's not just like Darkrai, Dark Patch, Dark Claw. Here you go, guys. Wonder
yeah,
what deck you guys should play. Keldeo, Blastoise.
yeah.
Oh, what deck could anyone possibly come up with from this set?
Um,
So yeah,
I
it's
think the
cool.
thing that I like about it the most is, at least at first glance, the EXs aren't very good. Um, which, you know, I mean, I guess some people could see as kind of disappointing, but fuck EXs, pretty much. You know, anything where it doesn't just make basics more ridiculous is a big plus. So, like you said, not a whole lot of like really standout, super awesome cards, but the fact that EXs have kind of been reined in a little bit, at least at first glance, you know, you never know what someone could do, but they seem a little bit more mild in this set, and that's okay with me. So, I like it.
Yep.
All right, well, that's going to do it. Thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Leave comments for us. These videos always get a bunch of comments, which is cool. And go check out Sam's channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Maybe he'll upload something once.
Yeah, I might try and upload something
It could happen.
soonish.
So, anyhow,
So
thanks
come
for
check
watching,
out
guys.
just in case.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for having me on, dude.
yep, no problem. See you guys later.
See ya.